their water is filled with lead, causing mental disorder. Black kids there. And because there's black kids there and there's mental disorder, we didn't talk about the lead problem that they're having there. So therefore, this connects to this, even though we don't have the other information. So obviously, it must be the beatings. Because they're black, they beat their kids, but oh, the lead in the water, let's forget about that. Or for example, you can talk about things like, oh, my brother, no, not me in particular, it's just a scenario I'm making up. My brother was killed. My brother was killed. I feel the pain, it hurts me. Now, I have PTSD, right? But there's the thing. It wasn't diagnosed. No one diagnosed me for PTSD. Instead, they say, oh, it's because of the beatings. Not my environment. People won't look at my environment and say, oh, it's because there's no resources. Oh, because, for example, as I said, I was at a town hall meeting. Oh, there's no paper in the fax room. Oh, there's no tissues in the bathroom. Oh, the sinks don't work. My teachers don't love me. My mom doesn't care about me. I feel lost. They know. Instead of just point to the beatings, what we need to do is focus on the real problem. Even though beatings are a problem, it is a problem. If you beat your kid to the point where they're bleeding, that is child abuse. I agree that's child abuse. But certain things need to be pointed out that haven't been pointed out. And that's how I feel.
So would you say that it's not the sole issue? It's just, it's like...
I can agree with that as well.
Like very often.
I mean, I agree with that as well. Nobody's saying that it's the sole issue, but to say that the statistics just don't matter, like, I agree. I mean, again, I'm in academia. I do see where people twist data to make it fit their narrative, but what you're essentially saying is that because statistics can be manipulated, they shouldn't be trusted.
I'm not saying they're useless.
Entirely true. Say again?
I'm not saying they're useless.
You're not saying they're what?
I'm not saying they're useless. I'm just saying, depending on how you use them, they can be used for positive or for negative.
Oh, sure. No, I'm not debating that at all. But over the, I would say, 30 to 40 papers that I've read on this, there have been different sample sizes conducted in different parts of the country, different ages, different levels of how children are being disciplined, whether or not they're calling child abuse, light spankings, light tapping, things like that. It's been a whole spectrum. And there is some data in there that's like, okay, y'all kind of twisted this, but the trend that I see across the board is that you do see higher instances of anxiety, bedwetting, poor cognition, decreased motor function. There are a lot of things that come along with that. I'm not saying that's the sole cause of those things, but when you take people from different parts of the country that are not experiencing the same symptoms that you isolate to Flint, Michigan, where it's known that they have problems with lead in the water, or there's problems with the food quality and things like that, when you're taking them from different sample sizes and you're still seeing the same trend, that's something that you should pay attention to. I'm not saying that's the complete causative factor, but why would you use data that you know could also cause us to defend something that you know also could be causing the same thing?
All right. Cool. So we're going to leave the kids alone currently. I mean, we're going to actually do the next episode next week. I'm doing an episode on domestic violence. I think that when it comes to corporal punishment, that it kind of trains up kids in a lot of ways to express themselves through violence sometimes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you think about it, like your parents, you know, are the ones that quote unquote love you, or, you know, you'll get beat and then you be like, you only do that because I love you. And then you end up with somebody that beat you. And then, you know, they say, well, he loves me and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of the same thing. But that's next week. So stay tuned for that. So, as far as mental illness with black people in general, I would say that most of our listeners are black. And if they're not black, they're probably spies. The feds is always watching. So I think with with this current thing, this order that just passed, I'm not even sure if it was an order. I think it was just a tweet that people are like, you know, or a series of tweets that people are like taking away too far. Which I think is a mental illness within itself, but, you know, whatever. Trump tweeted that basically that he did not want or there was supposed to be a alleged ban on, you know, people that are transgender in the military, and people kind of just took from it what they wanted to. I've learned not to take anything emotionally. Like, I mean, if you think about it, like you're reading something, you're reading the words of strangers on the screen on your phone, and it's like affecting your mood or affecting your day. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. But yeah, I mean, I guess, what do you think about that order? I guess we'll start with Chima, because I started with Tanai last time. So, Chima, what is your? I mean, you're not that familiar with it, like.
I'm familiar enough with it.
Okay, I didn't know if you had heard it or whatever. So yeah. I guess tell me your take on it.
Well, the thing with President Trump, even though, you know, it's hard to call him President Trump because all the things he does sometimes, but everything he says is kind of contradictory. Like when he was talking to John McCain, and he was talking about, oh, because you were captured, we don't respect you as a soldier. He would say things like that, but then when actual people want to come up and serve in the army, it's a problem. When it wasn't before. Transgenders were never an issue before. So instead of us focusing on something that really matters, something that's really serious, like the fact that he wants no food left behind to be gone. Why do you want that? In impoverished neighborhoods, you don't want us to eat anymore? Why is this being canceled? Instead of focusing on the main problems, you want to make up a problem, and then after that say, oh, the transgenders are doing this and that and this and that. No, that's not true. The fact is that you have your own agenda, your own ideology that isn't really a problem, and you're forcing it on people that really don't have the same issues that you have, therefore causing a whole bunch of problems that don't really need to happen. Most people, we're in a society now where we are, maybe the black community is growing, but we still have a stigma against gay people, and we still have some stigmas against, you know, people that are not like us. But very often than not, when you look around and you see a transgender person and they're doing what they do, we don't mind. We don't pay them any attention. They're not affecting us. But with our president, everything that isn't a problem, like Rosie O'Donnell or stupid other stuff like his daughter's store being closed down, become problems. He's not focusing on America. Instead, he wants to just pay attention to things that are not important. If you want to support the country, if you want to fight for the country, fight for the country. Don't stop us from supporting what we love and what we need in order to survive as people, which is our pride, our freedom, and our ability to fight for justice.
Tanai?
So, I mean, my thought is, I don't really care. Like, I'm just gonna keep it 100. I mean, I grow disillusioned with the fact that every other group tries to latch on to black struggle and make it part of their thing, because some, like, people for some reason kind of fanboy over, you know, the struggle for black liberation and black civil rights, and then people will latch on to our movement and be like, hey, why aren't you guys helping us? And it's like, oh, we'll help you. And then you help them and they just kind of leave you holding the bag. And it's just like, all right, okay. So, I mean, at this point, my policy for a lot of groups is like, hey, y'all got to hold your own nuts. Because at this point, black people have been campaigning and trying to get support from other groups, and then it hasn't materialized. And now that President Trump is in office, everybody else is starting to kind of feel the heat now. So now everybody's like, oh, the blacks, y'all got to come help us. You know, y'all face these things too. And it's like, yeah, we do, but we've been facing them. And now y'all weren't anywhere to be found. So, you know, hold your own nuts. Like, we're good over here.
Facts.
So, I mean, I'm pretty indifferent about it. I don't think it's very significant. I mean, it's unfortunate that people are being discriminated against for who they feel like they are. I don't think that it is correct to impede on anybody's right to live and be a productive, healthy human being. But at the same time, it's just like, all right, y'all can't be in the military, okay? You want a way to not catch bullets for a corrupt nation. Good for you. You know, I don't understand why this, of all things, people want to be outraged about. So, like I said, I'm pretty indifferent to it. It's just really not on my radar right now.
Indeed. I kind of feel Like, I mean, for the most part, with anything that's been going on with this presidency, it's just like, okay, and what? Like, there's nothing, there hasn't been anything that directly has affected my black ass, even though, I know we're supposed to be in chains by now and all this other stuff. Like, I mean, really, I think what it does now is, like, this allows us to focus on us. This is the perfect distraction that black people needed. Everyone else is pissed off, and everything like that. And while people are reaching out to us, it's like, well, you wasn't here the past 8 years or whatever. You were never here, really. So, like,
right.
we're busy, we're at
they
work.
retaliate against us, bro. Like, all black, when we do Black Lives Matter, guess what they do? Blue Lives Matter. Because you know what? They're trying to make everything that we're doing pointless, even though we're not saying all cops are bad. We're just saying that the ones that are killing us are bad. So instead, they do Blue Lives Matter. Oh, the Black Lives Matter isn't very good. Oh, they're going against the cops. No, we're not. A lot of the times, a lot of the things that we do, we have other groups just trying to go against something that's positive. And it's a shame because a black community, we don't stand for each other at the right moment. We just wait until everything crashes and falls to the ground. Be like, yeah, we need to get them, man. What they talking about, bro? They say I can't do this, bro. Even though I just lost my house, now I'm going to fight for my house because I'm homeless. Like, there's always something, man. I feel like there's problems on both sides, and if we just work together, we can get things accomplished. But you and I are sometimes, I'm kind of the same mentality as you sometimes, so I'm trying to get out of, which is, don't affect me, bro. It's all good. I can eat my Cinnamon Toast Crunch when I wake up in the morning. I'm chilling. So,
yeah, I mean, my thing is this, again, because, I care about my people. I definitely try to put my build a platform for my people. I try to be more active in my community and everything like that. But I realize that I am no good to anybody if I'm not good myself. So initially, like, I have to focus on myself before I can help anybody else. I mean, if you're on a plane and shit gets real, well, first of all, if you're on a plane and shit gets real, you're gonna die. But if it gets semi-real, you put on your oxygen mask first before you put it on, your child next to you. So you got to prepare yourself first and, do what needs to edify your spirit or your soul or your mental, whatever, you know what I'm saying, before you try to help somebody else. And I feel like a lot of times people, especially us, we try to rally for everybody, and it's really not that kind of party. We don't have the resources to help everybody. And honestly, like, we don't owe anybody else shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, we have this strange obligation for whatever reason to people, to causes that really don't affect us, and in fact have progressed further than us at our expense. So that's my take on that. And also, I think that a lot of these so-called things that are supposed to be helping us are really plants from other people. Things that may have a black fist may not be funded by a black face. But I'm gonna leave it at that. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. So, would you say that the people that constantly get caught up in social media and other things like that are constantly outraged by just anything? I mean, shit, the sky's purple, it's a beautiful sunset, but I don't like the color purple, so I'm fucking pissed off. I'm triggered. Like, do you think those kind of people have something wrong with them? But not necessarily something wrong with them, but they may have some sort of imbalance. I guess we'll go with Chima.
All right. This is a problem I have. I always do this with a lot of females when I'm talking to them because they just sometimes they be wilding. So let's say they're complaining about something, right? And I'll be like, okay, you're mad about everything. Water's not wet enough. The grass isn't green enough. The sun isn't bright enough. I don't understand. Like, what is going on? And I feel like a lot of people, we have problems appreciating what's in front of us. Like, we look in the mirror, we're not satisfied enough. We look at our meal, there's not enough lobster on my plate. We see some J's, damn, they're not new enough. And every time we look around, it's just more and more and more and more and more. We need more to the point where even the people around us, we don't appreciate them. We spend thousands of dollars to be, I'm not going to lie, I wear all the jewelry. I'm not going to lie to you, I flash, I got a new car. I'm not being flashy, I'm just telling you the truth. And even though I have a lot of these things and I feel like I come from a good family, I'm still able to wake up in the morning and be like, I appreciate this. Thank you. Because a lot of people don't have these things. But when we lose sight of the fact that all of these things can be lost in a matter of seconds, and we just keep asking for more and more and more, and we should always look for more. But we're having the problems in our society of social media. Be grateful.